In this video, I'll show you how I created this popcorn product animation in Blender. I'll walk you through modeling, lighting, texturing, animation and rendering so you can recreate this style for your own projects. The label texture and other resource can be found in the link in the description of this video. Let's get into it. Let's create the popcorn container. Hold Z and switch to wireframe mode. Let's adjust the height and base. Select the top vertex and extrude on the Z-axis. Select the faces, right-click and select Extrude Faces along normal. To select multiple edge loops, hold Alt and click on the edge. Press Ctrl E, and select Bridge Edge Loops to close gap. Now add a subdivision surface modifier to smooth things out. Let's add a couple of loop cuts to straighten it. Ctrl+R to add loop cut. Insert face with the I key. Let's create a scene cut for our label texture. The idea is to cut out the texture area to form a flat 2D rectangle surface for us to project our texture on. Press U on the keyboard and select Mark Scene. Next, let's add our textures. Let's add a new slot for our label texture and assign it to the selected faces. Let's fix the look of our label texture. Press U and select Cylinder Projection. Head over to the UV editor to adjust the texture position and scale. Let's give our texture a bit of glossy feel. Our texture is also showing inside and we don't want that. One way of doing his is to separate the label for the container. Let's duplicate it fist and press P to separate it from the object. Let's scale slightly for it to show on the outside. Next, adding an object to emit our popcorn. We will be using Blender particle system for this. Follow the following steps to set up the particle system. Feel free to experiment to get different results. Let's import our popcorn model into our scene, so we can target them. Group them in a collection. Let's select our popcorn collection as the target. Press the space bar or play button to text our particle system. Let's add our backdrop. Let's give our backdrop a collision in order for our popcorn not to pass through. You can enter the same settings. Let's also add a collision for our container. There is a bit of issue here. Our popcorn is floating in the air. To fix this, we can duplicate our backdrop and move it up right under our popcorn, and disable the collision on that backdrop. Disable show emitter so our emitter doesn't show when rendering. For the slow motion or freeze effect, we need to keyframe the time step. Next is lighting. Let's set up our render properties. Let's add an area light to our scene. Let's add a camera to capture our animation for rendering. Let's fix this shading issue. It's due to duplicated backdrop. Delete the face intercepting. Let's scale up our label a bit. For the rotation animation, one way of doing this is to add an empty, and parent all the objects to it. To do this, select all the object and select the empty last, then hold Ctrl P and select object, keep transform. Next we animate the rotation on the Z-axis. Let's add a slight zoom in at the end with the camera on the Y-axis. Fast forward. Just adjusting the zoom. Once all is good, let's bake our particle system. Lastly, let's set our denoiser to optics. Next, scroll down and tick the checkbox for motion blur. Sorry, missed that. Select a folder to save out your render files. Finally, hit render animation. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and comment. Catch you in the next tutorial.